This is Top Accolade African News Updates. I am Soy Bifa Jackridge. Ghana's vice president, who is also the presidential candidate of the ruling party, has opposed LGBTQ plus practices, saying they go against his religious faith and the country's cultural norms. It is the first time Mahamudu Bawumia has publicly disclosed his stance on LGBTQ plus issues, which are currently dividing the West African country. In February, Ghana's parliament passed a controversial bill criminalising LGBTQ plus practices and advocacy. Several groups have since mounted pressure on President Nana Akufo-Addo, with some urging him to sign it into law and others warning that assenting to the bill could result in the loss of much-needed international funding. On the issue of LGBTQ, it is important to note that our cultural and societal norms and values as Ghanaians frown on the practice of homosexuality. Mr. Bawumia was quoted by AFP news agency as telling a group of Muslims during Eid celebration on Thursday. Furthermore, as a Muslim, my view on this matter aligns with the position of my religious faith. My faith is therefore very strictly against the practice of homosexuality. No shades of grey, the new Patriotic Party (NPP) presidential candidate added. Ghana's former president and Mr. Bawumia's main challenger in the December presidential polls, John Dramani Mahama, also opposed LGBTQ practices in February, saying they contradict his Christian faith. Ethiopia's first ever sexual violence registration system is in the works and set to start operations next year, the government has said. The system, which aims to prevent and respond to sexual violence against women and children, is hoped to make an impact in a country where prosecuting gender-based violence is a major challenge. According to a 2016 survey, 23% of Ethiopian women have experienced physical violence and 10% have experienced sexual violence. People often underreport such experiences, so the true number is likely to be higher. The anticipated system will hold sex offenders accountable even after they serve term for their crimes. When it's operational, it will exclude registered sex offenders from working in schools, orphanage, and other children's institutions. The Women's Rights and Prosecution Executive in the Ministry of Women's and Social Affairs, Selechi Tadiz, said, with a budget of around 10 million birr, that is $176,000 or 140,000 euros, due to the contributed by various institutions. The National Sex Offence Crime Registry is proposed to have 3 types of pages, including a public page. The Tanzanian opposition has questioned the recent move by the government to rename the Electoral Commission. Effective Friday, the National Electoral Commission (NEC) will officially be known as the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), according to a statement issued by government spokesperson Mobhare Martini. It said the change of name aligns with the implementation of the newly enacted electoral laws. But opposition leader Tundu Lissu said the Tanzanian constitution recognizes the poll agency as Electoral Commission without the independence. In an ex post, Mr. Lissu urged the country's judges and lawyers to help explain if the change of the name was legitimate or whether it was just political fraud by the ruling CCM party. Critics argue that despite the rebranding, the commission remains susceptible to political influence from the ruling party. The remaining comes in the wake of a recent legislative amendment aimed at reorganizing the functions and structure of the electoral agency. In a bid to enhance its efficiency and transparency, the Tanzanian parliament recently approved the electoral bill, which was subsequently signed into law by the President Samia Suluhu Hassan, local media reported. The East African country is set to hold the general election next year. One of Nigeria's most popular celebrities, a transgender woman known as Bobrisky, has been sentenced to 6 months in jail for spraying naira banknotes at various social events. It is rare for people to be prosecuted for this crime. Throwing money in the air is a sign of appreciation commonly done at Nigerian weddings and celebrations. This is technically an offense, as the notes then falls to the ground where they can be trodden on. Bobrisky has not been given the option of of paying a fine instead, local media reports. That is the size of top accolade African news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Friday.